Chairman, we're live.
Hey, welcome back, everybody on YouTube and those in the audience. We're at our last agenda item for the morning, or for the day. This is an action item convened as the Board of Equalization for our final decisions. So at this time, I'm going to table the county commissioners and reconvene as the Board of Equalization. I think before we Okay. This process is for hearing assessment appeals, and hopefully this will be the conclusion of numerous meetings over the last month or so on this process. So at this time, I'm gonna turn it over to the assessor, and we'll get started right off.
Do you have to swear anybody in?
I don't think so.
We've all been sworn in.
You already got sworn out?
So the first one up, I believe, is JB 2435. So turn it over to Jennifer.
Thank you. My name is Jennifer Boyd. I'm appraiser number 1298. This property owner is West One Bank, and they're located at 905 North 2nd Street in McCall, Idaho. The building is 5,715 square feet of commercial space. It's currently occupied by US Bank. The building was originally built in 1971 and has an effective year of 2005. The exterior of the building was remodeled in 2021. The building sits on 0.5041 acres of good commercial land, and below are the values for the last 3 years. The appellant offered no comparable sales. The appellant states that the market value of the property should be $1.8 million based off the income approach. I spoke with Mr. Meekum, representative of Ryan.com on June 21st, 2024, and requested actual income information to be provided. During that phone conversation, Mr. Meekum stated he would request actuals from his client. I did not receive the information I had requested. The information Mr. Meekum provided in the appeal application is based off assumptions and is not specific to the subject property or the commercial market in McCall. So I'm requesting that the board sustain the 2024 assessed value of $2,305,767. The next sheet over is we're looking at the sales comparison approach. The first box are our sales in the McCall area. It shows the 2023 ratio results in the red text, as well as the 2024 ratio in the green text. And we have to be within 10% of market value. So the first sale is right around the corner from the subject property. It's 1000 North 3rd Street in McCall. And it's right on Lenora and 3rd.
They don't own their own building, Jen?
The ownership is still under West One.
Okay.
I don't know if they're leasing.
Interesting.
So Jennifer, the question
Yes, sir.
on page 3,
7-1,
it shows weighted value at
block 2,
1820,
11A.
1,820,000. And it says income below it. Is income the rent? What's that income?
It's their net operating income. We can take their income and subtract expenses and figure out a value that way, which is Ryan's kind of what they're trying to use to value the property. and they're going off of assumptions of the market, not actual data. I did, however, weight the two approaches. And so sales, I weighted 60%, where income, I weighted 40%.
So, okay, I'm still confused on income. The bank's income? Is that what you're talking about? The bank made $720,000.
No, what she's talking about is if you were to go out and appraise a different property and you've got a whole retail mall, they have to wait on how much income is paid on the rent within that mall. So what's happening is West One purchased, or US Bank purchased West One. So it may have been that some of the assets were left out of that sale. And so West One is leasing this space to US Bank. But without that knowledge, I mean, US Bank could state that it's still under the old ownership and pay themselves whatever. That income approach really isn't an arm's length transaction in this thing, unless truly that asset was left out of the original sale. And West One is still a corporation that's receiving income and sets the rents for US Bank, and we have no knowledge of that.
Right. And we had requested those actuals, and they did not supply that information
So is he contesting that part of it? I mean, because he's thinking the property is worth 1.8. Is that right?
Yes. He's believing that the market's at 1.8. And it's based off of their appraisal software that kind of spits out assumptions of what a typical bank might see, but it's not based on US Bank in McCall, Idaho. So I have weighted the two approaches because we do have some commercial sales. The one on the corner from them sold for 1.9. It was unfinished and it was down to the studs, the interior. So I've weighted the most on this sale because of location. Comparable to is a bank located in Meridian. It sold in 2024. I didn't use that sale, but I just wanted to provide, that one sold for 2.7 in 24. And then sale 3 is a little bit bigger, sold for 1 million. That's in the middle of McCall. So I believe we're more than fair in our valuation.
I think your best comparable is that first one you talked about.
If you bring up a business, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
You bring up a business search in Idaho for West One Bank, it goes to a certificate that is held by US Bank. I don't even know if the ownership of this thing has the ability to qualify for exemption. It's still active, but it goes right to the certificate for US Bank.
I've also attached an occupancy flow chart that kind of just shows that banks are more built than retail space or office space. And then if you're looking at replacement cost new, banks are about double price per square foot than retail.
I'm ready to make a motion.
I don't see farms on here, and I just see farm arenas. Farms don't even qualify on the occupancy flow. I just can't. What is, and I can't tell from this, what you rate the class or the quality of the building? Is it average, good, or fair? I don't know how to find that.
I do not have it listed, I apologize, but it is a good
Good class.
for a wood Class D building.
I think your best comparable is that first one that you used on 3rd Street. And if you look at the difference between that and Meridian, it's the value of the land. That really brought it up. But it's comparable to this bank, I think. You're within parameters. It looks like you did bump the ratio up. We're getting kind of low on the ratio, and that looks a lot better.
Our first ratio study, we were out of compliance. That's why we had to raise the
That's why
values.
you had to do it.
Yep.
Okay.
And then,
Well, I'm ready when you are, Commissioner Mopin.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we uphold the assessor's value of $2,305,767 on protest number JB 2435 and deny the protest for the appeal. Thank you.
I'll second that.
Got a motion to second to deny, JB 2435, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And that lot in downtown McCall is probably worth more than that too. So. I'm barely buy a house lot for that in McCall.
Okay, the next one we're going to,
Mr. Chairman, did you just happen to sign?
oh yeah, I signed, she's got it. You're supposed to attest.
No, I just need to prepare the letter.
You write the letter, that's right. Okay, now we're going to JB 37 Albertsons LLC. Jennifer, I'll turn it over to you again.
Thank you. This is JB 2437. The property owner is Albertsons LLC. The subject property is located at 132 East Lake Street in McCall, Idaho. The property consists of 3.8848 acres, which is graded as excellent commercial. The parcel includes a 46,747 square foot supermarket, which went through an extensive remodel in 2017. The supermarket, operating as Albertsons, is graded as an excellent Class C commercial building, and below are the values for the past 3 years. So a little bit of back history on this one. On June 18th, I discovered that our market adjustment for commercial property in McCall had increased the subject's valuation from $10,672,496 to $16,940,291. The property's total square footage of 46,747 is far too large to be compared to the sales data our office has been able to collect. For this reason, and until better data becomes available, it is my recommendation that the property be evaluated by the cost approach annually. I called and emailed Mr. Grant, a representative of the Altus Group, to discuss the 2024 assessed value. He was driving, and he said that he would get back to me the following day. I followed up with an email. However, I did not receive a response from Mr. Grant. I sent an amended notice to reflect the correct valuation of $13,509,005, which was an increase of 26.58% from the year prior. Our office received the protest packet on June 28th, postmarked June 24th, in which $8,074,461 is listed as the desired market value. Mr. Grant did not provide sales, cost, or income information. I believe this protest was possibly filed as a stipulation to their agreement with Albertsons because they're a tax reduction service, which is why he didn't supply any additional information. So attached, I've included a cost analysis based on the Marshall and Swift valuation service. I came up with a total cost value of $13,631,155, which is a little bit higher than our assessed value of $13,509,005. So I believe we are where we need to be in value. And then attached, I just included some of the support documentation for the adjustments that I've made for Western Class C, the local multiplier, and modifying adjustment for it being in a resort location.
What did you give him, the 15 or the 30% for the resort? Remember?
Gave him 25.
25? Okay.
Fortunately, their property taxes are high because they're right across from the lake. Being there in prime position in McCall doesn't really have a lot of benefit for a grocery store. And as a matter of fact, over the weekend, there's a detriment because their parking lot is absolutely packed over the 4th. But that is where they're located at, so.
So this is amazing. Resort locations, 15 to 30%.
Think about how many people shopped there over the weekend.
Oh, man, I
Probably
would
made 13
I
million.
wanted some cherries.
13 million this weekend, that's exactly it.
I wanted cherries and I wasn't about to go to town.
Okay, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we deny the appeal and approve the evaluation of $13,500.
13 million.
$13,509,005 on the JB 2437 Albertsons LLC.
Second that.
Just second and all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, board.
We need a bigger desk. Okay, now we're gonna go, I'm assuming, back up to the top of the first page
Bob.
to SL 2422.
Yep, we're gonna go to BB 2436 for Gary and Heidi Tanger.
Okay. Okay, you sure I don't have to swear these guys in again? Already did it once, I'm good. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Okay. So this is Appeal BB 2436. Parcel number RP 00047000060. Located at 1503 Bear Trail Loop in Donley. Subject property is consists of 1.7 average good land grade acres. The parcel has a 3,028 square foot home with 1,844 square foot currently finished. It was built in 22 with an effective age of 22. It's graded as an average plus. In average condition. There's also 3 RV sites on the property, and below is the values for the last 3 years. So the appellant didn't offer any comparables to support her $500,000 total improvement value. So I gave her a call. She didn't call prior to submitting. And once I called her, I found out the basement was unfinished when I put her on last year. I just assumed it was finished. So that was an issue. There was also a bathhouse on the property that she said is not on her property. It's on her neighbor's property, which is a relation. There was no permits for either property to build the bathhouse, so it's one of those, yeah. And there was also a well house that was listed as a shed. So what I'd like to do,
Bob, did you go out and look at that and make sure the basement was not finished?
I did not actually go look at it. When I went during reval last year is when I put it on. It's one of those permits when it started.
Just get pictures or something and we're not just taking our word for it.
Yeah, it was. They started the permit in 2018, and it's one of those where they're just slowly working on it. And there was some outside stuff that wasn't done, but there was personal property around the house. You can see that there's still saws and they're work in progress going on. But I didn't. There's no C of O for this. It was just there's personal property on site, and you can tell it's people living in it.
But there's not a C of O grade.
Well, when we do things like that, sometimes we don't get a C of O, and they start living in it, they don't call for their final inspection, but if they're living in it, then you put it on the rules.
Do you let building department know though, so that they can go out and, or send a letter telling them?
I did not on this one. I've experienced in the past is they kind of give up on some of those, so I don't know.
I don't know.
I think there's one and
Those.
there's a 10-year-old one that I put them on, and because they quit getting permits, or quit checking in 2019. So I
So
don't
I don't know
know.
about this one.
I can tell them about this one. Yes.
Anyway,
So question Bob I had is,
Yeah.
why are the land values going down?
I think my this opinion, yeah, it kind of overshot in 21, and everybody got a little crazy there. But the last few years, West Mountain has been slowly.
So you base that on sales?
Yeah, it'd be Anthony
You got a
sales.
little high in 21. You're coming back into the realm.
Yeah. She was more concerned about her improvements, because it's all self-done and they just look at the value of their, what they put into it, not if you actually paid somebody to do it, I think.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do for her though is just take off the bathhouse, change the basement to unfinished and take off the shed that's a, pump house. And then I'll be out there this
Bathhouse
summer.
there.
That's a bathhouse, yeah.
So who are you gonna put that on?
The neighbor's property.
The relative.
Yeah.
he'll be out there for reappraisal this summer,
nice bathhouse.
so he'll be able to check the basement. Hopefully somebody will be there that he can talk to.
Okay, so what's your recommendation?
I would move that we deny the appeal of BB 2436 and uphold the assessed value of $898,719.
Commissioner Mullin, he actually, if you look on that front page, he's actually asking, because he took the bathhouse
excuse me.
off and the
Reduced
pump
it.
house, and he ran the basement as unfinished, so the total value, he's requesting the total value be $794,655.
I will amend the motion to include $794,655.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to amend EB 2436. Deny the appeal and set the value at $794,655. Have a second? Have a motion? What was that? What did
We got
do?
them, you've got both.
I'm lost. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
This is a denial or is this a final value approval?
The denial of the appeal.
And a final value of it, which I wrote down. So Doug has it. So,
Yes,
This, we're not gonna do that number at all. That's that 800 and something.
no, Bob has asked for a reduction because he removed the finish on the basement, removed the pump,
So
that
good.
building that was a pump house and then the bathhouse. So he's requesting a total value of $794,655.
got it.
Okay.
Okay, now you're ready to go to SL 2422?
Yeah, we can do that one.
We're doing JB 2438, John O. Whiteman Trust.
Did we postpone that one too?
This is one that came in the mail late. I mean, it was supposed to be on the 24th, but it came in later in the week, is why we haven't heard it yet.
Okay.
Look on this one.
Well, the next one up is JB 2438. So go ahead, Bob, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Okay, this appeal JB 2438. Parcel number RP 0019100000340. This property is located at 2114 Payette Drive in McCall. So it consists of 105 foot of lakefront. Parcel, it has an excellent grade 3,200 square foot home with a walkout basement built in 96 with an effective age of 1996. There's also a 576 square foot attached garage and a lake deck with a boat dock. Below are the last three years of values. The appellant sent us an appraisal from Brown and Associates LLC in Boise. They're being represented by Ryan LLC. Yeah. The appraiser reported that the appraiser report states that this is a private appraisal intended for private use only for their client, not intended for lending purposes. The report states that in their opinion, the property value is $4,250,000 as of 7/26/23. I kind of attached a little condensed version of all their stuff onto an Excel spreadsheet. I'm not sure how they come up with that value because even after they do all their adjustments, their average comparable price highlighted off to the right is $4,849,950, which is really close to what we had assessed at originally, which was $4,876,562. So two of their comparables have been demoed by the time this report was written. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure. They were both demoed in 23, so they paid $5 million for the one and $4.16 million for the other. And they were both older homes, but they're already demoed.
You mean tore down
$5
and
million for a lot?
rebuilding in the plan?
Oh yeah, they're gonna rebuild. Yeah, they all have permits for new houses already.
Yeah. That's standard operating procedure.
And then there was one that they didn't have because it was the sale date was 9/25/23, which was after the report. And it came in at $831 a square foot, which is below what he's currently being assessed at 770 a square foot. So I think
this-
he's where he needs to be.
So your number you're operating off is the $4,876,562.
Yes, I think that's fair.
We're still low.
Well, and didn't you guys redo some of that beachfront property for per foot on the beach this year?
Did we raise it? Yes.
Oh yeah, well,
We
yeah,
had to, and
okay,
we're
yeah.
still low.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we appeal for JB 2438 and approve the valuation of $4,876,562 on the Whitman John O. Trust.
A second.
And second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Bob, I have kind of the form, but it's not filled out. Can you fill in all the rest and then I'll sign it for me?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, while he's doing that, do you want to move on or do you want to wait, Sue?
We tabled Pepin, Michael Harris and Pepin Harris's appeal. They have a timber exemption. They had put 2 cargo containers on the property. She had came in and met with me, I think 3 times. But not once did she, she questioned why we took the 1 acre out of the exemption. I said, well, you put 2 cargo containers on there. Anyway, never did she say, oh, well, we only store
It was lawn
tools and
stuff,
saws and what have you.
wood stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And so Bob went out on last Monday,
Yes.
and she opened up the containers for him, and it's mostly all tools and there's chainsaws and things of that nature in them. And so just like we would with an egg building, if it's used for agricultural items, we wouldn't take a 1 acre home site out. It's the same situation with timber. And so after Bob fielded it, he felt comfortable putting the 1 acre back into the timber exemption, which would lower the assessed value for a total overall value of $21,311. So if you're okay with that, then we should not go ahead and give them this so they can look at it.
21,311.
Yeah, 21,311.
What's that on the Pepin one?
So the motion would be to what, deny the appeal and approve the assessment?
Well,
To approve the appeal.
Or approve the
yeah, approve it with the new value of 21,311.
final value approved, okay. Will you make that motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the appeal of BB 2423, Michael Harris and Pepin Corso Harris, and set the value at 21,311.
Second.
Need a second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Good job, Bob.
Good job, thanks, Bob. So now you're ready to get into the heavies?
Yep.
We're doing what first?
Let's do Quaker Hill.
2422,
Yes.
okay, so this is, appeal number SL 2422. And as everyone knows, we discussed these a few weeks back and we took this under advisement and came back and did some work on this. The original decision decided that they did not qualify as a religious corporation. And they pointed out in their appeal that some portions of their articles of incorporation mention their religious affiliation with the Friends Church. The order proposes to modify the original decision that Quaker Hill does not qualify as original corporation and reverses that decision. So we're here to deliberate and discuss on that issue. The appellant pointed to enough evidence to demonstrate that they are a religious corporation and we are in agreement. Just like the first 4 decisions, Quaker Hill used this property for a portion of the year rented to weddings, groups, corporations, family, and government agencies. These uses are business uses and do not qualify. So thanks to the help of Sue and Mr. Oki, we've got a decision before us, finds the facts and conclusions of law. And they all look really good. We have a list of those groups that were not affiliated with this church camp. So I'm gonna make the motion that we direct the Valley County Assessor to enter upon the property tax rolls consistent with this order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
25 parcels.
25 parcels commonly known as Quaker Hill, onto the books and that heretofore have escaped assessment. The assessment for this the assessor will limit the tax assessment to 235 days for calendar year 2023. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We all three sign this.
And I'm glad we went back and checked on the religious affiliation, because I do think they gave us enough information to be able to qualify that as religious. We've got that moving
Did your
forward.
motion include that you were gonna grant it under 63-602B?
No, but I can amend my motion.
I think it's important that we make sure that's clear on the record.
602B is religious, right?
Are you gonna amend your motion?
I'll make a motion to add that the Quaker Hill Conference remain under the 602B classification for exemption status. Got a motion second on the amendment. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And now we have a motion and a second on the denial and the recommendation from the assessor. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay.
So the next one that you tabled was the YMCA.
And this is SL 2421.
Yep, and they have 9 parcels. One thing that I need to just let you guys know, their attorney was adamant that they were under the 3% rule. They are not. It came in at 18.08%. I told you guys I would look into that, so I did, just so you know.
And that's days rented, days.
It's the value. So if the portion of time of the value that was used was less than 3% for a commercial use, then the property remains exempt.
Mhm.
If it's over 3%, then we are instructed to value that portion of the property.
Sure.
And so the total value of the YMCA parcels was $11,202,581. And the assessed value for the amount of time, the days that they used it for commercial use comes in at $2,025,671. So when you calculate that out, it's 18.08%. In other words, you need to assess them. If it was under 3% or under, then we
You don't have
consider
to.
the property exempt. The attorney was very adamant that they were under the 3%. They are not.
Did you have to show them that they weren't? Or?
I have not spoke to them since our hearing.
Okay, just a brief introduction on this. Again, this was appealed a few weeks back after discussion. It was decided that they were challenging the partial exemption, stating that it qualified for 100% exemption, although it did admit that it used the property for corporate events. After some investigation, the assessor has determined that the property was used about 18.08% for non-charitable activities. And I think it ended up being assessed for 66 days of non-charitable use. So I think it's pretty obvious that they don't apply for full exemption. So at this time, I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we, so we're denying this appeal, is that what we're doing?
Correct. If that's your Vice Chair wishes.
Order right down the bottom.
Now here's 299 days. Let me go up off the 299 days. Is that what you want me to go off of?
Yeah, so they were granted the exemption for 299 days, and you're assessing them for 66 days of commercial use.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we deny the appeal and approve the exemption for 299 days, calendar year 2023, and assess the property for 66 days.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
The next one that you tabled was Trinity Pines. And I don't know if, hopefully you guys still have the original packet that I had given to you. But this is the one where, I was asking that you modify the number of days to 208 days exempt use and 157 days of commercial use. And you guys were gonna deliberate, whatever.
Say those numbers again. 218 days are taxable?
No, 157 days.
Oh, and we're modifying that to this.
I'm asking it to be modified because
Okay.
originally, we had more days than that, and then they went over the calendar. So let's see, exempt use 208 days, commercial use 157.
Cicely, I apologize for interrupting. Before we move on, can we just make sure I get this signed?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, no. My apologies.
You know, you're gonna have to help me out here because what I have in the final order is more days.
I'm showing 218 days. Tax exempt is 147, is that correct?
That's what you're looking at right now.
That was the original, what we sent out from the last decision that you made in May.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm asking for a modification because they went over the calendar recently. And so I'm asking for a modification.
Okay. So give me those numbers again.
All right, so 208 days of exempt use. Here, can I help you?
208 exempt,
And the rest was 100.
157 commercial.
57.
You'll find that.
It's Trinity Pines.
Okay,
They had originally talked about the fact that we had stated that they were not a religious corporation, and that was not true. That was just a mistake on behalf of them, I believe. They are a qualifying religious corporation, but use their property for renting it out for business purposes, just like all the others.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, in our written decision, you'll see that that is laid out for you.
That was that gentleman, that was the lawyer talking. That was Trinity Pines.
okay, so I'm gonna
Mr.
go ahead
Chairman,
and are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and make the motion that we direct the Valley County Assessor to enter upon the property tax rules consistent with this order for these parcels known as Trinity Pines. The tax will limit the tax assessment to 157 days for calendar year 2023.
I'll second.
The motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
You do that right? Okay. So we're gonna go mute and take a quick break. Back to do the rest.
That was it, wasn't it?
That was it, I think.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone, YouTube and those in the audience. We're moving on with our BOE. Our next appeal is SL 2404.
We're done hearing,
Okay,
we're
go ahead.
done hearing them, but I need to state, I want just to clarify the record and
Okay.
make sure that I have it accurate from you guys. So for Deer Flat Free Methodist Church Incorporated, the written decision has been completed, and the Board of Equalization is directing the assessor for RP 16 North 03 East 162555 to put them on the rolls for 85 days for calendar year 2023. Next entity is the Episcopal Church in Idaho.
So wait a minute, before you go on. Mine says 66.
Deer Flat.
Oh no, this was for, yeah, that's where I'm confused with for the Girl Scouts. Let me get to Deer Flat. Sorry about that. I'm just getting too old to do this job. Want to make sure we're cool. Waiting 5 days, okay, we're good.
Deer Flat. For the Episcopal Church in Idaho Incorporated, also known as Paradise Point. You have ordered the assessor for parcel number RP 19 North 03 East 231370 to be assessed for 23 days for calendar year 2023. The next entity is Idaho Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, also known as Camp Idahaven. The written decision that you have ordered the assessor to put RP 19 North 03 East 268145 on the rolls for 30 days during, for calendar year 2023.
Yep.
Okay, the next entity is Pilgrim Cove Foundation. You have ordered the assessor to put, they have 3 parcels, so RP 00095 00032A, parcel number RP 00196 001-003A, and parcel number RP 18 North 03 East 030575 to put on the rolls for 130 days for calendar year 2023.
And the last one, I believe, on the list.
This is for Camp Alice Pittenger for the Girl Scout camp. This one, you ordered the assessor to grant a partial exemption instead of a denial for RP 19 North 03 East 347217 to put on the assessment roll for 66 days for the calendar year. Am I correct in all those?
Yep, they're right on, all the way through. So is that it? I believe that's the last ones. Okay. So,
How are you gonna stand up doing this anymore?
me? It's pretty obvious I'm starting to slip. Can't keep up with everybody around
We
here.
need to get a letter opener.
You guys
gonna
need to
have
get
your
your own,
knife around
you need to
here.
get your own stamp too. Okay, so we're gonna come out of BOE at 3:51, go back into the Board of County Commissioners. And there being no one in the audience or no general public and no further business on this agenda, this meeting will be adjourned.